This train is extremely bizarre. Every 8 minutes, all passengers will fall into a dead loop with no stops. No one can survive. How to get out? You can't. When the time comes, the train will explode immediately. Even jumping out of the train will only end up being hit to death. Could it be because of the devil? No, all the reasons come from this man.
On a rolling train, Coulter opened his eyes and woke up. He looked at the scenery outside the window and was startled. Just seconds ago he was still fighting in Afghanistan. Why was he already sitting on a train in a split second? Before he had time to react, the woman opposite called him. Hearing the name she called him, Coulter was confused. Sean? Who is Sean? I'm a pilot for the US military in Afghanistan, Coulter. Christina laughed. Flying a plane? I thought you only drove in bed? Coulter didn't bother to explain much. Now he just wanted to know what happened. Right now, his reflection off the window made Coulter feel something was wrong. So he rushed to the bathroom, to the mirror. Not just the appearance. The information on his ID card was also changed. This made Coulter extremely confused. Who is the person in the mirror? Who am I? Christina was waiting outside, seeing Coulter's bewildered and unstable look. She was going to step up and comfort him with a few words, but when she opened her mouth, is Coulter dead? Of course not. He woke up again, fell into a tight space. Before he could clarify the situation, the screen in front of him appeared. A female officer appeared, immediately asking a lot of questions. Who exchanged trains? Where was the bomb's hiding place? What is its shape and how did it explode? Coulter didn't know how to answer. How would I know? Is this a military test? The woman didn't answer. She said to Coulter, we only have 8 minutes. In these 8 minutes you have to find the bomb and neutralize it, plus catch the bomber, okay? As soon as Coulter finished speaking, he was taken to that train again. And what made him thrilling was that he went back to my previous sitting position. Not only has Christina not changed, the location where the coffee was spilled has not changed. Even the conductor who shows up next, the comedian with a criminal record, the busy businessman, the guy who dropped his wallet, and the students who picked it up, returned that person. Each of them did the same actions as the last time. The episodes repeated, although Coulter did not understand what was going on, but with the instincts of a soldier, he still carried out the task based on memory. The bomb exploded last time very quickly. The location of the bomb was determined after a final search. The wire of the bomb is linked to the phone, and as soon as the bomber calls the phone, it will explode immediately. Coulter is a pilot, not a bomb disposal expert. He must only solve the problem himself, but even if he made all the passengers turn off their phones, the outcome wouldn't change. Coulter felt hopeless as he regained consciousness. He loudly questioned Colleen, what is this? Colleen didn't answer, but just told Coulter that if you want to find the truth, then drag the bomber out. In addition, she also told Coulter an important clue, that is, the bomber and he were on the same train. Before Coulter could ask clearly, the scene repeated from the beginning. This time Coulter didn't panic like before. He began to notice the actions of the passengers around him. After carefully observing, a man wearing glasses who just stepped out of the toilet caught his eye. The train had just stopped at a station. Coulter gave chase. Not only that, he also dragged Christina off the train. Such an obvious action made the man suspicious. Coulter did not hide anything anymore, immediately took the man's bag. But while the two of them were struggling, the train not far away still exploded. Coulter couldn't believe his guess was wrong. He frantically searched for this person's phone. Being not careful, he fell down the rails. Coulter regained consciousness and reported to Colleen that he had saved a woman. But Colleen replied, it doesn't matter, because that woman died that morning, when the train exploded. And the person he saved was just a sequence of numbers in the original code. To clear Coulter's doubts, the program development doctor told the truth. It turns out that after a person dies, the brain will have a short-term memory trajectory, which can only be maintained for 8 minutes. So if you take advantage of the original code, it will make the electromagnetism waves in Coulter's brain runs itself into Sean, who died from that exploding train, thereby recreating his memories 8 minutes before Sean's death. Therefore, the source code is not a time machine. In addition, the doctor also told Coulter that the bomber was about to bomb the city center with a nuclear bomb, and unless he succeeded, countless people would die. Only when the bomber is found on the ship can the terrorist attack be prevented. Due to the urgency of the time, violent means can also be used when necessary. Coulter understood the gravity of the matter. He went to the train again, and didn't waste a second. He immediately went to the security room, broke the door lock and took the gun, but before he could proceed to the next step, he was knocked unconscious by the security guard with a stun gun. It is clear that this mission failed again. Then, and the consequences it creates are dying over again and coming back to life 4 times caused Coulter to become suspicious of the source code program. Why was it that out of hundreds of thousands of soldiers, only he was chosen? Moreover, why was the person whom he's transferred into was Sean? So where was Coulter then? He brought a lot of questions with him. During the conversation, taking the opportunity, he remembered Colleen's badge, after returning to the ship before it exploded. Other than asking Christina to go online to search for a pilot named Coulter, he also drew an image of the badge based on memory. Then with the help of an elderly retired man, he successfully used his phone to find a way to contact with the lab that Colleen is in. But when he was about to call, Christina told him the shocking news. 2 months ago, the pilot Coulter died for the mission. Coulter couldn't believe it when he heard it. Am I dead? Why might that be? The more he thought, the more desperate he became. The world in front of him began to become hazy. After a while he was pulled back to reality by the original code. Coulter asked Colleen, "Am I really dead?" Colleen saw that there was no way to hide it anymore. She says, "Yes, you are dead." But his brain is still active, so where he is only from imagination. Coulter hears it and collapses. He becomes completely irrational. With no hope left, he refused to cooperate, even if he was forced to board the train. Experiencing the train exploding time and time again, he just turned a blind eye, not doing anything. The doctor had no choice but to open a recording. The owner of the recording is Coulter's father. In Coulter's heart, he always felt sorry for his father because the two of them often quarreled. Even the last time they met was not pleasing. The doctor played the emotional card and agreed with Coulter. As long as he caught the bomber, he would let him and his father contact each other, then let him rest in peace. Coulter was shaken, so he decided to complete this quest. Coulter boarded the train, first, getting the gun in the guardroom with ease, then removing the cell phone attached to the bomb. Based on the last callback in the phone, he eventually discovered the mastermind behind this. But the bomber got off the train. Moreover, before leaving, he also threw something into the carriage. Coulter picked up the wallet full of identification cards, and immediately froze when he looked at it. The bomber intentionally left the wallet to make the police think he was dead, because he did not want to let him achieve his goal. Coulter decided to risk his life for once. Seeing her friend fall, Christina hurriedly told to stop the train, and Coulter on this side found the killer. Despite his bodily injury, he refused to admit it at first. But after everything was exposed, he could only obediently confess. The killer's purpose was revealed. He immediately opened the trunk, showed his masterpiece, saw the pile of bombs piled up on the car. Coulter was surprised. Just as he was questioning the bomber to see what he was going to do next, Christina suddenly appeared. The gunman drove away from the scene, but when he was about to die, Coulter discovered the train was still exploding. So what caused the bomb to explode was not only a phone, but this failure had let Coulter know the true identity of the bomber. After Colleen received the information, she quickly informed the police and successfully caught the criminal. Hearing the good news in the news, the whole department was overjoyed. Naturally, the source code program also received permission from its superiors. But after the doctor was praised, not only did he not fulfill his promise to Coulter, but also ordered his subordinates to erase Coulter's memories one by one, turning him into a tool for him to use. Coulter seemed to have foreseen this outcome this time. He is neither angry nor reproachful. He only requested Colleen through electromagnetic waves in the brain. "I need you to bring me back and power me off." While everyone was praising the doctor as a hero, Coulter still wanted to save the passengers on the train. Colleen was touched. She would be in risk of being fired from her job, but decided to help Coulter. "This is the last 8 minutes." Coulter glanced at his watch and said to Christina. Not a single mistake. Coulter was able to remove 2 phones on the bomb in turn, then took the security guard's handcuffs, used a gun to threaten the bomber, then locked him in the handle, then called the police, revealing all evidence of his crime. After doing these things, Coulter pretended to be a teammate of his to contact his father. He used another person's voice to apologize to his father, but his father did not blame a single sentence, but calmly said, "I hope my son can come back safe and healthy." Yes, sacred fatherhood is a boundless love. When the two of them were talking, Colleen went to the laboratory, and after she opened the device, she was amazed. It turned out that the Coulter of the reality was bombed, only half of a body left, relying on machines and drugs to maintain the effects of electromagnetic waves in the brain. This sight made Colleen unbearable. She didn't want Coulter to be tormented like that. So, even though the doctor discovered her actions, got angry and ordered her to open the door, Colleen still didn't listen. She just coldly said, "She has done enough." At this time, Coulter on the train had hung up the phone. He took Christina's hand, asked her, "If you only had 1 minute to live, what would you do?" Christina said, "She'll make every second count." Actually, after dying and resurrecting many times, Coulter fell in love with this woman. After hearing Christina's answer, Coulter gave her a kiss. At the same time, Colleen pressed the termination button, ending Coulter's life. In reality, Coulter's heart had stopped, but the two of them on the train had not ended like that. They got off the train, drank coffee together, and enjoyed life like normal people. Although Coulter died in the real world, in the source code he was resurrected. While the source code cannot change the past, it can create the future. It extracted and created a new parallel world. In this new parallel world, electromagnetic waves in the brain of Coulter parasitized in Sean's body and continued to live. Finally, I pose a question. How many parallel worlds did the original code in the movie end up with? Smart viewers, let's meet in the comments.